different kind of fields. 4 types of fields a class can have, I said here. What are the 4 types? Static, non-static, constant. What one? What one? Why I'm scolding you every day? Read and come here. Read only. Static, non-static, constant, read only. So, static. When you come to static, I said you the behavior. Initializes one and only one time in the life cycle of a class and maintains a single copy throughout the life cycle of the class. When is it initialized? When the execution of the program starts. Non-static. Initializes every time you create a new instance and maintains 0 to n copies. No instances 0 copies, n instances n copies. And third one is constant. The behavior of this constant is exactly same as static. Initializes when the execution of a program starts and maintains a single copy throughout the life cycle. Only difference between static and constant is here. What is that? Static can be modified, constant cannot be modified. Other than this, static and constant are same. Static can be modified, but a constant cannot be modified. Otherwise, the static field and the constant field both are going to be one and the same. Okay now? Fine. Next. Next. The fourth one is read only, guys. We'll talk about read only today. So what is read only? Look at this. I'm just going to declare read only. Read only bool blank. Do you remember? I already talked about this read only and constant difference earlier. Read only and constant, what is the difference? Both of them cannot be modified here. Read only also cannot be modified. Constant also cannot be modified. Okay? Read only, constant both cannot be modified. Read only cannot be modified and constant also cannot be modified here. The only point to remember here is, the only point you just require to remember here is, in case of read only, in case of constant, initialization must be done declaration time. Initialization must be done declaration time. Declaration time, initialization must be done. Read only, I said you, first you can declare and later initialize. I compared it also. Constant is like a train ticket and read only is like a bus ticket. In a train, so when you talk about read only, read only means, when you talk about read only, so what is that read only? Read only means you can declare it first and later on initialize. It's not compulsory to initialize at the time of declaration. It's not compulsory to initialize at the time of declaration. Understood my point or not? Okay, so that's the main difference what we just have between the read only and the constant in this case now. That is the main difference what we have between read only and constant actually. Okay, so but one thing is clear, guys, for both the 2 days. For both the 2 cases, one thing is clear. What's it? Once initialized, cannot be modified again. Once initialized, cannot be modified again. Once they are initialized, you can modify them again. Okay? But constant, what is telling you? Declaration time only. Declaration time only. You just require to initialize. Declaration time only you require to initialize and cannot be modified again. Okay? But what is read only telling you? First to declare, later initialize and cannot be modified again. Clear? Yes or not? Okay? So that is the difference what we have between constants and read only in this case. So this is read only, guys. I declared, but no error. But yesterday, you all remember, I declared constant and execute the code, I got error. But now I won't get any error. See. No error. I don't have any error in this case. I hope you guys are clear. So there is no error in this particular case now. Okay. Now I can initialize it later. Where you can initialize? You can just initialize them. You can just initialize them in a constructor. Where you can initialize it in a constructor. So comma.